We is back. And I gotta get my black mile together. So we got some new paperwork on Durk. See my man album for sending it to me. Got some new paperwork on Durk. Government responds to the motion. How the government did. See what they talking about with that. I think Durk need to what's up, brother? I think Durk need to go ahead and move past this bail hearing. Wasting time. I mean, I guess he ain't wasting time. He ain't got nothing but time, but I don't know. I just don't see no purpose. Like he ain't get. They're not giving out no bond, man. Too much money. Too much money. Too much influence. Serious charge equals no bond. I mean, that's the best. That's the best. Too much money, too much influence, seriousness in the case, bond denied. Straight up. Should it be like that? No. You understand? But that's what it is. It's like if you don't got enough money, you can't bond out. But then if you got too much money, they don't want to give you a bond either. So it's like you it's like you damn if you do, damn if you don't type shit. Then we got Suge Knight going in at Reggie Wright. Reggie Wright responds. Now, Diddy case earlier. Dwayne, what it is? Yo, sleep the Nicky out for the $5 cash app too, man. Nicky Love. I ain't even saying. I don't even think Nicky was even here. He must have just watching. I don't know. Matter of fact, Melly. I think the judge wanted he got a bond on one charge, and the judge wanted more time on the rest of them. Matter of fact, let's look in the Melly. Look at the Melly. Yeah, he ain't been back in court. He ain't been back in court since 2 weeks ago. So yeah, the judge one more time. So earlier we was talking about Diddy. And I was waiting for Lauren, the girl from our Breakfast Club, to do her reaction to what happened at court. And as soon as we got off live, she did it. This nigga 50 Cent, yo. 50 Cent on some clown shit. Like, this man fighting for his life, and all he want to do is troll him. That shit not funny, bro. I don't think this is funny. I just don't. I don't think this funny. I think that shit corny. It kind of give police vibes. You know what I mean? Special agent. So your Canada is considering becoming a 51st state. Oh man, everybody here now. Look at Post Malone. Look at Post Malone. Cold switch like a motherfucker, yo. Look at this nigga. Check yo out. Yo, we gotta stop allowing. Yo, we gotta stop allowing these niggas to do this, man. This the 6'9". This the 6'9", 1090 Jake effect. Yeah, man. They come in like they hip hop. They come in like they hip hop, and then they do this. They get money, gain the support, steal a culture, and then they turn into Post Malone. 6ix9ine did it. Tonight Jake doing it now. I think that shit is goofy as shit for real. But let me show y'all what Lauren said about the Diddy trial. I want to tap in and see what's going on with the inmates too.
Hey guys, it's Lauren LaRosa here for the latest with Lauren LaRosa. And if I'm bringing you the latest today, after literally just walking out of the courtroom, hearing the testimony of Miss Capricorn Clark, a former personal assistant, what I can say to y'all is I don't think that the defense, Diddy's legal team, was ready for Capricorn Clark to be such an impactful witness the way that she was. In the beginning of her testimony, let's just say, first of all, coming here today, I thought that I was going to hear from multiple people. I thought that it was going to be Capricorn Clark. I thought that we were going to hear from the arson investigator. I thought that we were going to hear from another special agent as well too. But we spent all day hearing from Capricorn Clark, both on direct, so conversations with her and the government, and then on cross, and then they went back and forth. They ping-ponged back and forth between Diddy's legal team and the government. And in the beginning of it felt like you were listening to a movie, right? Like, she got into so many different things, so many things that we've heard so much about. She definitely filled in a lot of color and a lot of context, and honestly added more to the story. I think one of the biggest things for a lot of people was the Kid Cudi story. When Kid Cudi took the stand just last week, he talked about pulling up to his home after, getting an alleged phone call from Capricorn Clark that Diddy would be outside, or Diddy would be at his home when he arrived there, right? Because Diddy allegedly...
I'm sitting back thinking like, yo, back in the 90s, they had this beef between Suge Knight and Bad Boy, Death Row and Bad Boy. They didn't got Suge Knight years ago. And now they fuck around trying to get Diddy. Like, yo, that shit crazy. They would have both them boys. They trying to have both them boys in motherfucking federal prison.
It just found out that...
Probably gonna send them to the same compound. Ain't Suge Knight in the feds?
That's Diddy's mom leaving right now. That's what you guys are hearing. And normally what happens is the reporters wait out here for people to leave, just so they can try to get questioned. But his family typically doesn't say much of anything. But his mom was in the courtroom today. But yeah, so Kid Cudi. So Kid Cudi, tells us this whole story last week about, hey, we allegedly got this phone call from Capricorn Clark. We is Kid Cudi and Cassie, and she's letting us know, she's on speakerphone, and she's letting us know that Diddy is allegedly outside of my house because he's upset, and he found out that me and Cassie are dating. Kid Cudi says, I was confused dealing with Diddy, allegedly. But Capricorn Clark gets on, and then Kid Cudi says, I go to my house because I'm calling Diddy now. He's like, he alleges he's calling him. He's like, yo, you're at my house? I'm on my way. And Diddy's like, okay, I'm gonna wait for you until you get here, right? Capricorn Clark tells a story completely different. She's like, yeah, I called Cap.
Yo, but that's a problem. That's a problem. See, and like, the people reporting, but they're not. It's like, and she don't typically do that. Somewhat if somebody reached out to her, she typically try to stay in the middle. But her take right here in this situation, is severely geared toward the prosecution. But you can't just gloss over the fact that her Capricorn Clark recollection of the situation is totally different from Kid Cudi's. You can't just gloss over that. That means somebody is lying. Both their stories can't be true.
After Diddy allegedly showed up to my house 5 o'clock in the morning with a gun, pissed off because he had found out about Kid Cudi and Cassie having, their whatever this thing was that they had. But she says when she called Cassie, when she was forced, she alleged she was forced to get in the car to go with Sean Combs, Diddy, and Rube, who was one of the security guards at the time, to Kid Cudi's home, right? She's like, I called Cassie because she's alleging, she's calling her like, wait, what is going on and how does he know this? And at this point, she's concerned for herself because she's being made to get into a car. So she called Cassie to give her a heads up, allegedly, right? But to also let her know what was happening. She didn't even know. Capricorn Clark alleges she didn't even know that Kid Cudi was with Cassie at the time, nor could he hear her talking about this. She says that she says it to her. She alleges, I say, I'm in a car with them and they're making me go to Kid Cudi's house. They're going to kill him, allegedly, right? They had no idea if Kid Cudi was home or not. And that wasn't one of her concerns. Up until this point, we've heard this testimony from other people. And the story, in my opinion, sounded a lot like, Capricorn Clark's call was almost like a warning to both Cassie and Kid Cudi, allegedly. But now we're hearing that it was a warning to Cassie, but it was more so, hey, this is what's going on. And I'm very confused because how did he find out? We went and got you the burner phone. I told you how you should be moving in this situation because she alleges she had been, said, hey, this is not going to be safe. We need to move better out here. The way you moving right now, it's not going to work because you know how things can get, right? Now we're hearing the story today, and it's Kid Cudi kind of overhears this conversation and then leaves to go to his home. And when he leaves to go to his home, Capricorn Clark doesn't know what's about to happen. She has no idea. She alleges that when they pulled up to Kid Cudi's home, she didn't even know whether Kid Cudi was in the house or not. Her biggest thing was, let me call someone and let them know where I am and what is happening right now in case they do allegedly kill this man. Because no one knew where he was. And the person that she alleges that she called was Lauren London. Now, the defense did try to trick her up on that. Like, okay, did you call Lauren London? Allegedly, it was Lauren London on three-way allegedly when this happened. Like, they tried to trick her up on that. But I'm trying to tell you guys, the defense was not successful today at poking holes. The holes that they poke were so minute compared to this woman on the stand breaking down, talking about all of these, different alleged things that she had experienced, being allegedly kidnapped, feeling like her life was on the line at one point. She alleged she was blackmailed and could not work after she left Diddy, to the point where she settled out with him. And a part of the settlement back in 2012, she alleges, was that neither would make disparaging comments about each other, but also he would write, or she wrote, and he would sign a recommendation letter so that she could then take it to other places to work. At each step, Capricorn Clark is really showing you how, or she's trying to show us, she's alleging what the power of, being on the wrong side of Sean Combs can be, allegedly, right? Because she's talking about not being able to work for years. She's talking about...
They making it seem like, a lot of people move that way. Once you cross them, you ain't never getting... Like, that's just the industry. But they trying to make it seem like that this situation... Say he did... white baller. You understand? Say he did do that. But they all do it. You know what I mean? Like, this is not something specific just to Diddy, man. If you felt like she was crossed to more than likely, you might not get another job in this industry. But that's the game they all play. It's the same game. I don't like how they trying to make it seem like that this is just something specific to Diddy. No, hell no, they all do that shit. I'm sure Jay-Z moving like that. I'm sure motherfucking Vlad TV moving like that. You understand what I'm saying? They all playing the same game. What's up, Mike? What's up, Mick?
Having to go back, allegedly. She's talking about having to go back and work for him. And people, I'm sure, are like, well, why would you go back? The defense is like, well, why would you go back? She made the picture very clear. I couldn't go anywhere and get a job. She alleges that she took a meeting with a really big name. She took a meeting with Jimmy Iovine, allegedly, and that meeting ended in him giving her a warning. Leave this alone when it comes to Diddy. It's not going to end well for you. She alleges that she went to CAA and had a meeting there, and that, allegedly Andre Harwell, God bless his dead, and Diddy showed up to have a conversation with her about not pursuing the legal action that she said she was going to pursue. Over and over and over again, the defense is poking and poking and poking, trying to make her seem uncredible because she kept coming back to endure more, right? But here's where they messed up. When the Onion finally pulled back, and Capricorn Clark really got into talking about, her alleged fear and her having to put on her big girl britches and just do what she needed to do, she broke down crying. And I'm like, man, this has been the most impactful testimony I've seen in all of my weeks here. Not only did she really make you understand why right? Because I think in all of these situations, when it comes to Dawn Richard, when it comes to Cassie, every time people have an objection to what these people are saying on the stand, because they keep returning to this, alleged craziness that they're saying that Diddy spews out and working with him means. People are like, well, why would you? She broke down crying, and she talked about, at one point she literally said, my stakes are higher. My son is autistic. He's not audible. I lost her home, allegedly, her car, allegedly, all of her health benefits, allegedly, her ability to have money, her ability to make money, allegedly. She couldn't work anywhere, she says. She began being a consultant. She even claims that in 2016, she went back to work for Diddy in 2016, working with Cassie, just so people could see that she still had worth, because she had been blackballed, allegedly, right?
She got every
excuse
in the
y'all,
book.
This testimony today is going to be hard for the defense to recover from. It is going to be hard. I want to give you guys a full breakdown of what the testimony was. Y'all know we do the separate videos and then the full breakdowns on Lauren LaRosa, on the latest with Lauren LaRosa's podcast, and then on the Breakfast Club as well. So it'll be more to come, but I would love to hear what you guys have to think so far. Even down to her painting a completely different picture of the Kid Cudi story. And again, it's up for debate, right? Because Kid Cudi says, hey, look, he alleges, I pulled up to my house. Diddy was not there. I called him, allegedly. He said, hey, I'm coming. And then Kid Cudi said, I had to stop and think about it because I don't know who he pulling up with, what's going on. Let me just call the police. Capricorn Clark says that there was low-key an alleged, mini chase of some sorts. They're in the car leaving the house. Kid Cudi pulls up. They hear the car. So when he pulls up next to them, they follow him, allegedly, right? And the only thing that made them stand down was they started hearing the police sirens. He also got away from them. He turned a block or something. They tried to trip her up on that as well. Oh, well, all these blocks, you can only go up, you can't go down. And they show her a map. She's not really familiar with the map, but then she gives you the route of where you can go to get to Mulholland, these other streets, to get back down the way that the defense team was alleging that you couldn't, to the point where the defense backed off. They said, okay, forget the map. This was a bombshell testimony today. We're going to get into it more. I'm Lauren LaRosa. This is the latest with Lauren LaRosa here at the courthouse, completing, I think it's day 9 of the Diddy trial. There will be more, I promise. Hey guys, it's Lauren LaRosa here for the latest with Lauren LaRosa. And if I'm bringing you the latest today after literally just walking out of the courtroom, hearing the testimony of Miss Capricorn Clark, a former personal assistant, what I can say to y'all is I don't think that the defense, Diddy's legal team, Capricorn.
Yeah, Cassie dropped the law. Yo, what she didn't specify was, is she still on the stand? I think that's important. Is Capricorn Clark still on the stand, or is she done? It's like they telling the story, and it's like the defense ain't even asking questions. I don't know, man. We need somebody else to go up there. I'll dismiss him. All right, so the government filed a new motion. They filed 2 new motions. One to dismiss the Durk defense team wants the United States government to disclose the grand jury proceedings, because they want to see in what context did they introduce this music video of the no shit, that they found out was done by a fan page. So this is the government opposition to that motion. Defendant Derek Banks, through his attorney Drew Finley, Marissa Goldberg, hereby files this reply in support of his motion to dismiss the superseding indictment. All right, so this is the defense team. They try to get the first indictment dismissed. Fucking up. Although Mr. Banks' request to dismiss the first superseding indictment is moot, his request for disclosure of grand jury material remains warranted under the. So they must have dismissed the. Remember what I told y'all? He got a better chance of getting that grand jury material. This was filed based on an attached memorandum of points and authorities, the files and records in this case, and further evidence and arguments as the court deemed appropriate. Mr. Banks originally requested alternative relief, dismissal of the first superseding indictment, or alternatively, disclosure of the evidence presented and arguments made to the grand jury in support of the first superseding indictment. Since Mr. Banks filed his motion to dismiss on April 18, 2025, circumstances have changed significantly. On April 21st, the government requested from the defense a native copy of the audio recordings of Wonderful Wayne and Jack Boy, including the metadata that would definitively prove when the songs recorded. After reviewing the file, which showed that the songs recorded on January 25th, 2022, 7 months before SR murder, the government took primitive action. Instead of waiting for the court to rule on whether the false statements to the grand jury about Wonderful Wayne warrant dismissal, on May 1st, 2025, the government abandoned the first superseding indictment, replacing it with a second superseding indictment that nobly omits any inaccurate claim about Mr. Banks' lyrics. Because the government renounced the reliance on the false evidence contained in the first superseding indictment, the defense agrees that its motion to dismiss is moot, which has not changed. However, is that Mr. Banks is entitled to disclosure of the false evidence and misleading arguments about the song lyrics that the government presented to the grand jury that issued the first superseding indictment. Only now the disclosure is warranted under Rule 6E 3EI because they are in connection with judicial proceedings instead of under the Rule 6E 3EII, covering materials related to potential dismissal of an indictment. It is apparent from the first superseding indictment that at least one government witness, most likely a federal law enforcement agent, testified falsely under oath. This false testimony impeaches and undermines the credibility not only of the witnesses who testified to the untruth, but also of the entire prosecution team that failed to do its due diligence before pursuing extremely serious charges against Mr. Banks. Such recklessness by the government and its agents exposes a fundamental bias that has tainted every stage of the investigation and prosecution of this case. Y'all remember that's what I was saying? Like, yo, they making it seem like it's minor, but it ain't. If they presented false evidence to the grand jury, then, yo, we got issues. Constitutional issues that need to be addressed. And remember I said, I don't know if they're going to dismiss the indictment, yo, but they gotta, well, they don't have to do anything. But the right thing to do would be to release what they said to the jury. Then, based off of what was said to the jury, then you come back and say, yo, we want this whole case thrown out. And that's what the defense is trying to do. Y'all remember I said that? Such recklessness by the government and its agents expose a fundamental bias that has tainted every stage of investigation. Disclosure will therefore bear on the merits of pretrial motions and trial defense alike. But it is certainly not mere speculation that the government presented false evidence to the grand jury that issued the first superseding, because the government has already technically conceded that concern about the government's agent of fire safety can adequately be addressed by protective order. And because Mr. Banks seeks disclosure of only the pertinent portions of the grand jury proceedings, disclosure is warranted here. Anyway, read the case law. Under Rule 6E3EI and the three-factor test outlined by Plummer and Douglas Oil, disclosure is appropriate here. Rule 6 threshold requirement is met because the requested disclosure is in connection with judicial proceedings. The continuing prosecution of Mr. Banks. Each of the three plumber factors are also satisfied. First, not just as possible injustice, but a certain one would occur if Mr. Banks was forced to litigate this case without access to impeachment material that are known to exist by the defense, as evidenced by the face of the first superseding indictment. Second, the need for disclosure outweighs the government's professed safety concerns, as the government has implicitly conceded by producing similar sworn agent statements in discovery. A protective order adequately as usage any potential concerns that the government agents who testify at the grand jury will be subject to intimidation. And third, Mr. Banks' request here is narrowly tailored, extended only to the portions of the grand jury material that touch on Mr. Banks' song lyrics. So they don't want everything. They just want the important, the pertinent parts. The Supreme Court made clear that disclosure of grand jury material that would impeach a witness, test his credibility, and the like is necessary to avoid misleading the tier of facts. Where a party can allege facts to support its belief that the material sought will constitute impeachment or test a witness' credibility, this prong is satisfied. The government continued insistence that these statements are true is puzzling. Hold up, go back. The revenge he exacted. The revenge he exacted on TB by the murder of SR. The implication, of course, is that Wonderful Wayne is evidence of Mr. Banks' guilt, but the metadata of the song's recordings, which the government reviewed before abandoning its reliance on the lyrics, proves otherwise beyond a shadow of a doubt. Open source YouTube versions of the Wonderful Wayne, containing audio from the news coverage of SR's shooting, which the government had previously attributed to Mr. Banks, were actually fan edits, altered, fabricated, and unauthentic versions of the original song. The government continued insistence that these statements are true and puzzling. Even true is puzzling, even troubling, denying that the first superseding allegations were false or reckless. Having reviewed the metadata itself, how can the government claim that it is true that Wonderful Wayne explicit reference audio from a news clip taken shortly after SR murder, or that in the song Mr. Banks is rapping about his involvement in the shooting that had not even happened yet, is beyond dispute that the government and its grand jury witnesses got it wrong. The government should be candid with the court and acknowledge its error. But even if the government never admits its mistake, the defense is entitled to disclosure of evidence that the prosecution team jumped to the conclusion about the meaning of Wonderful Wayne without doing its homework. It's indicative of a disturbing bias against Mr. Banks that he is constitutionally entitled to explore both in pretrial litigation and at trial, and because it pervades the case. This is an issue that cannot be exercised by a new indictment. For example, the Wonderful Wayne misstatements at issue will also appear in sworn affidavits supporting search warrants that the defendants intend to challenge pretrial. Requiring a pretrial hearing for a search warrant rests on an affidavit containing false statements, whether reckless or unintentional. Since its Wonderful Wayne mistake became apparent, the government has doubled down, orally and in writing, on its intention to use Mr. Banks' lyrics against him at trial and to interpret Mr. Banks' artistic expressions as evidence that he induced SR murder, is a dangerous person, and is a voice of violence. Its filing and in-court statements are repellent with similar false and misleading interpretations of other song lyrics and public statements. The defense is entitled to show the jury that the government is viewing Mr. Banks' words and actions through the lens of his own implicit bias. That's what they do. They make up some shit. Oh, this is what that mean. Whole time they mean that they did it to Boosie. If y'all know about Boosie case. Debacle was proof. Summarizing the grand jury evidence and the government's argument to the grand jury about the evidence speaks directly to its potential defense. The court must next weigh the need for disclosure against the need for continued secrecy. The purposes of grand jury secrecy are: 1, to ensure that potential witnesses come forward and testify fully and truthfully; 2, to prevent the target of a grand jury investigation from fleeing, and 3, to protect the reputation of wrongfully accused individuals. In its opposition, the government relies exclusively on the first purpose, the need to incentivize full and frank witness testimony to justify continuing secrecy in cities in support. Second and third hand accounts of alleged threats against civilian witnesses and their associates, describing witnesses' third-hand accounts of alleged bounty, while others noting witnesses' credibility, third-hand accounts. So whoever testified that Durk had bounties on people, he didn't hear this from Durk. He heard this from somebody else. More likely Trench's news line as describing the disclosure of Wonderful Wayne grand jury evidence would not endanger the availability of future witness testimony. The testimony and evidence at issue about almost certainly come from a witness who was a government agent, not a civilian. After all, if the government subpoenaed a civilian witness with personal knowledge about the recordings of or meaning of Wonderful Wayne, that witness would have quickly corrected the government misunderstandings. When the witness is a government agent, the first justification for secrecy to ensure the prospective witnesses are not hesitant to come forward voluntarily is diminished, if not eliminated, where indictment is based on defendant's statements to law enforcement and to the grand jury. It is unlikely that there will be many relevant witnesses who need the protection that grand jury secrecy provides. The government agent witnesses have dismissed need for secrecy or anonymity is evident from the government's handling of its own discovery. While the government has yet to produce to the defense discovery regarding civilian cooperators, it has had no such reservation about producing the statements of government witnesses in affiance, including affidavits containing the same Wonderful Wayne sworn misstatements that were repeated to the grand jury. A protective order was sufficient there, and so it should be sufficient here. So he only seeking relevant information. Can y'all see this? Mr. Banks seeks only portions of the grand jury material, testimony, evidence, and government arguments related to song lyrics. The case law affirms a district court's ability to tailor disclosure appropriately. When the defense shows a particularized need for grand jury transcripts that outweighs the need for secrecy, the trial judge function is reduced to eliminating only extraneous material or issuing protective orders in unusual situations. To the end, the defense suggests an in-camera review of an entire grand jury record to ensure that only information disclosed is that necessary to avoid a possible injustice. In conclusion, for the foregoing reason, Mr. Banks respectfully requests the disclosure of grand jury material related to his song lyrics. Mr. Banks further requests and agrees that these materials be produced subject to whatever protective measure the court deems appropriate. Now they gotta release some papers, man. They gotta release some papers. All right, so this is the government reply to Durk motion. Now, of course, you know, they want the motion to be denied. Yeah, they want the motion to be denied. This filing is based upon the attached memorandum of points and authorities that previously filed Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 under seal. The files and records in this case and such further evidence and arguments as the court may permit. They're moving fast. They filed both these motions the same day. Defendant is charged with directing 6 hitmen to travel across the country to hunt and kill his rival TB. Defendants allegedly orchestrated and financed the murder plot that culminated with shooters opening fire, including with a machine gun. We already know all that. In short, defendant proposed bond packages make clear defendant has access to vast resources. But his conduct in this case and others show that he has and will use those resources to endanger the community, influence witnesses, and wield his power for violence. For example, affidavit from a separate federal case in Northern District of Illinois likewise alleged that defendant offered money for people to kill those responsible for his murder for his brother. And more specifically, offered to pay money for any gangster disciple that is killed. Evidence collected in this case also showed defendant allegedly placed monetary bounties to solicit other murders, including family members of a witness. Oh, so they got Durk under another indictment, trying to get somebody family member killed. No, Durk was wilding out this bitch. I think once Durk lost King Von and his brother, I think he just lost it, man. You know, that shit happens sometimes. I think he lost control and he didn't know how to react, and he just started, reacting like this. I ain't saying it's right, but I'm saying it does happen. Defendant modus operandi is clear. He will use his power, his money, his influence, in any pretrial release to endanger anyone who perceives as a threat, including witnesses in this case. Defendant should remain detained pending trial. The second superseding indictment charged defendant and 5 co-conspirators with crimes arising from SR murder, including conspiracy to commit murder for hire resulting in death, in violation of the U.S. Code. Murder for hire resulting in violation of the U.S. Code. Count 2, stalking resulting in death. Count 3, and use, carry, and discharge of firearms and machine gun in furtherance of crime or violence. Defendants control and leadership of OTF. Defendant is the leader of Chicago-based organization called Only the Family, or OTF. The superseding indictment alleges that in addition to producing hip-hop music, OTF is comprised of individuals who engage in violence, including murder and assault. We already read all this. And why they don't ever mention how they got the cars? In early hours of October 24, 2024, federal and local law enforcement executed multiple warrants at locations associated with members of OTF in Chicago area and arrested 5 co-conspirators. Soon after law enforcement executed the warrants, the FBI learned that the defendant had been booked on 3 international flights, including at least 1 to a non-extradition country. The defendant skipped the first 2 flights and was arrested when he showed up to board a private jet scheduled to leave the United States a short time later. Defendant is twice ordered detained pending trial. Following detention in October 2024, the Honorable Patricia Donahue, United States Magistrate Judge, ordered defendant detained based on flight risk and ongoing danger. The court reasoned that no conditions of release would reasonably assure the safety of the community. The finding that defendant uses his money, influence, and power to endanger individuals who he perceives as a threat. The court also found that defendant was a flight risk based on his attempt to flee the country immediately after learning of his co-conspirators' arrest. Within hours of law enforcement arresting his co-conspirators, the defendant was booked on 3 international flights, including at least 1 destination to non-extradition country. Following a hearing in May 2025 on defendant's application for reconsideration of the judge, Judge Donahue denied defendant's application and maintained the court order of detention. The court reaffirmed its reasoning that the allegations against the defendant continue to support the conclusion that the defendant uses his money, influence, and power to endanger individuals whom he perceives as a threat. The court also rejected the defendant's proposed bond package, including supervision by a third-party security company funded by a defendant, reasoning that the defendant remains a danger and a flight risk. As the court explained, the defendant attempted to leave the United States upon learning of the arrest of his co-conspirators in this case, and has the means and influence to circumvent private security and not to appear in court as required. Indeed, the court found that the defendant has already demonstrated he cannot abide by even the most basic conditions imposed upon him, as he has repeatedly used at least 13 other inmates' phone accounts to make phone calls from MDC and continue to violate BOP probation of engaging in three-way calls. Come on now. They get petty with that shit. Everybody engaged in three-way calls, man. Everybody engaged in three-way calls. Although review of magistrate court detention order is de novo, what the fuck that mean? This court is not required to start over and proceed as if the magistrate decision and findings did not exist. Here, Judge Donahue's thorough detention order provides a straightforward roadmap and answers why a defendant should be detained pending trial. A defendant must be detained pending trial where there is no condition or combination or conditions will reasonably assure the appearance of the person as required by the safety of any other persons in the community. Detention is thus appropriate for a defendant who is either a danger to the community or a flight risk. Defendant offenses are calculated, brazen, and deadly. He caused 6 hitmen to travel to Los Angeles to commit an execution-style murder in broad daylight. Defendant allegedly financed the murder plot and offered to reward the killers by paying a bounty for the murder of his rivals. This bounty was not a aberration or isolated event. It was defendant's modus operandi. Defendant faces a lengthy prison sentence, mandatory life imprisonment. The severity of the potential penalty underscores his risk of non-appearance and the threat of danger he poses to those persons involved in his prosecution. Defendant facing fraud charge that's somebody different. I say I ain't no doubt. Yeah, dude, he ain't getting no bond, man. Dick might hang that shit up, man. That's worth a try, though. But so, shoot it to Durk, man. I hope Shorty make out somehow. So, Scandalous Los Angeles did a video on Officer Wack. Officer Wack 100. Where Suge Knight is talking about Reggie Wright. And Wack 100. I'm surprised it took Suge Knight this long to speak on Wack One. Like I know he spoke on him before, calling him the trucker, but you'd have thought he spoke on him way more. Since Wack always seemed to have something to say about him.
Name one thing that you accomplished without
Reggie Wright Jr., the head of security for Right Way Security at Death Row, organized the personnel to plan the hit, and I believe police officers were a big part of the hit.
and sometimes you find out stuff, and I ain't trying to take the things away from all what we're talking about, but sometimes you find out things later on that is so bad to you, it just makes your blood boil. I found out recently that allegedly one of my attorneys, David Kenner, was involved in the assassination of Tupac and me getting shot, and witnesses, but that's another story.
Told you, Mr. Knight, you don't want Reggie Wright as an enemy. You out there trying to put me, you trying to insinuate and play games like me. You better off with me being a friend than an enemy. Stop coming on YouTube saying one thing and then running back when you get on the phone and call me saying another thing. I'm not playing with you no more. Cause you playing with my freedom. Cause you playing with my freedom. Cause you playing with my freedom.
Why is it that no one still can explain why people tell somebody they can't carry guns?
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. The day we've all been waiting for has finally arrived. Marion Knight did an exclusive interview on Discretion TV, and he's not holding back this time. The other day, Reggie and John dropped a video on Bomb First, featuring a secret recording of a private conversation between Reggie and Marion Knight.
Sure thing.
An incarcerated individual at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility, San Diego, California. This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey,
What up, Big Show?
I'm good with you.
Oh shit, man. Hey.
Make sure you talk to Riding the homie.
Okay.
Homie, you know?
I know you talking about. Okay.
Him, yeah. At the end of the day, you know, anything I got to deal with him or have a conversation with him, I had a conversation with him, but that fool he's been on just came on, right? The rat.
Okay.
You know that dude?
Yeah, I know you talking about.
Alright.
Uh-huh.
You know there's a couple of those dudes over there where Wacko from, right?
Okay, I know what you talking about. Yeah.
Alright. They fuck with that dude. They always fuck with that dude. Some of them did time behind that dude, you know?
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
They been trying to talk to a lot of those dudes. Some of those dudes, while you playing both sides, they trying to put something together, you know?
Okay. You know you don't fuck with the rat, though. You know him and the rat that fell out majorly, though.
Which verse you talking about? Yeah, the one he been on, right?
I said, which verse you talking about?
Yeah.
Several of them motherfuckers.
No, not that rat.
Okay.
Well, you know the DMF.
Got you. Okay.
I'm talking about
I didn't catch that. Okay. Got you. Okay.
Yeah, who give a fuck about that rat?
Oh, okay. Out there. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But this.
I told niggas in the face, saying, baby, for you, right?
Okay.
When they all when they was all doing their time, they all got caught saying the shit that is awful, even though he's from over there, they was claiming that other shit.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you.
So, and I know a lot of them too. They be talking. So they was all, they had their name in his mouth,
Okay.
Like trying to,
I got you.
tell him, it's this watch, don't trust none of them.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, okay. That show you still got love for that nigga. Okay.
I don't want to see nobody
Yeah.
to him like that. You know what I mean?
I got you.
I got love for him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'm glad to hear that.
it's
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, when motherfucker knows about the kids,
Yeah.
who gives a fuck how you took down or whatever you trying to do?
Yeah.
You know the truth. If I was there.
Marion had no idea he was being recorded, and definitely didn't give consent. In that audio, Reggie exposed some information that Marion clearly never intended for the public to hear. And let's just say, it didn't sit well with him. As a result, Marion hit up Discretion TV for an exclusive interview. And this time, he's not pulling any punches. This is exactly what Reggie's been afraid of all these years. Reggie and Porky both really pissed Marion off. Now Marion's letting it all out. He's questioning how Reggie Wright was able to afford the lifestyle he had while supposedly living off a cop's salary. He's asking the real questions. Like, what was Reggie really doing before Marion gave him a shot as a security guard? Marion also calls out the irony. If he's the one known as Simon, then why is Reggie running a company called Simon Says Publishing? He doesn't stop there, though. Marion's going in on the whole industry, asking how people with zero talent, who can't sing, rap, or dance, and couldn't find real talent if it smacked them in the face, somehow became the gatekeepers of the culture. People with no credentials and no legacy. Yet they're the loudest voices in the room.
So look, man, you gotta look at it like this. The people who have something to do with the culture of hip-hop, and want to do something hip-hop, it's all the same ones, you know what I mean? Regardless who it is, regardless, we don't always see the eye to the eye, but regardless if it's the West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, down South, everybody added something to the table to make hip-hop what it was.
Right.
Now, you get motherfuckers who never had nothing to do with hip-hop for no one, but they want to attack.
I guess it's Wack always had a head on the shoulder for business, and not just, we used to have a term, it's a derogatory term, and then Suge used to call, it actually was stunt dummies. We used to call, and he wasn't a stunt dummy, and that was a word that Suge, take the stunt dummies to this, take the stunt dummies to this. And
okay? Now, when you listen to Reggie, or what Wack calls him, pork butt, this stupid motherfucker put his foot in his mouth. Yeah, it's true. One of the people just told me, let me hear what he said about me letting him know to tell Wack that they was on his head, somebody close to him. And he was like, oh man, you don't want to see him dead, huh? I'm a man of God. I don't want to see no one dead. I believe somebody can get their ass whipped, but I don't believe. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have the power to call those shots and see who lives and die. Only God should be able to do that. So I don't play those games. So yeah, I gave him a heads up, even though Wack did a whole bunch of lying and said a lot of shit to try to make himself look famous. At the end of the day, I did give his fat pork butt a heads up and tell him, don't get crossed up. Number one. Number two, whatever I say once, I can say twice. Well, he should play the whole audio. Or did you erase that pork butt? Where you say, well, I said, even though the motherfucker lied, Wack lied and said he had to pay for my mother's funeral, and I came and asked him, what's the lie?
Lord, where is time out?
Okay? Yeah. Nobody needed this shit. He said, well, you never said nothing about his mother being a crackhead. I said, I leave people's mothers out of this. Even though he crossed the line.
So Wack lied about paying for the funeral? I ain't surprised. He lied about every motherfucking thing.
That's a lie to mention my mother. I'm not going to go and say Wack's mother's a crackhead. And Truck Butt, the one was like, yeah, we all know she's a crackhead. She was put in baskets. I said, I'm not going to talk about people's mother. Right. I'm not going to get to the point and say where his name come from or who acts like who. I ain't shooting no shots at this dude, but I know he's going to be mad anyway, say something. Whatever the fuck you say, Wack say. Because we know, I put the context with you, a lot of bars. But I'm already in prison.
Dang, what'd he say?
Pork butt.
What'd he say?
In baskets. I said, I'm not going to talk about people's mother. Right. I'm not going to get to the point and say where his name come from or who acts like who. I ain't shooting no shots at this dude, but I know he's going to be mad anyway, say something. Whatever the fuck you say, Wack say. Because we know, I put the context with you, a lot of motherfuckers to be behind bars. But I'm already in prison. Hey, pork butt. We got the recordings of what you said in your grand jury and tell me you want to make sure you go PC. Ain't nobody never ran me up for yours, nobody never will. And I guarantee you this. People can talk to lawyers and say weird comments about me that I don't know you. People can turn and say, I lost $300 million. If you believe that, that's on you. Now, if they do some fraud and some crazy stuff, of course they did. They do that to all the black men. They could continue to do that. Because all the broke motherfuckers be happy when the real motherfuckers fall.
Dang.
Now back to the pork butt. You got a company. It's fraud. Everybody know who Simon is. You got a company you call him Big Simon. Write letters to Universal stating that that's your company and they owe you money on publishing from All Eyes on Me and all these other projects. Where did you ever buy publishing? Where did you ever have any money to buy any publishing? Your house, you bought with my money. And then you put it in your wife's name, trying to hide it.
Dang.
I don't even know if you still got it. For as my building, show the check where you bought my building. I never seen nobody be able to buy a building on the police side. I never seen nobody be able to buy a building on the police side. I never seen nobody
on
be
the
able to buy
police
a
side.
building.
Nico, shut up.
I tried to give you respect and tell your father, you little motherfucking daddy's boy.
What is TubeBuddy?
Yo
Let's
say
break it
on the
down
police
fast.
side.
TubeBuddy is used by over
I think this stamps it. Suge Knight called him a rat. He know him the best.
To get the shit squared away. Now your bitch ass says something about my mother again, you fat motherfucker. I'm already in prison. When your ass come to prison, I'll be waiting on you. When your ass come to prison, I'll be waiting on you. When your ass come to prison,
you ain't got to worry about that shit. And then
Those
coming to
words
prison.
hit different for Reggie. He's no stranger to the system. He's already done time, and he's not trying to go down that road again. It's crazy that right when it seemed like Keefe D was going to be the one to take all the heat for Tupac's murder, all of this starts coming to light.
You see, I'm on the piece, first of all. Everything I know about your fat ass is that, number one, you remind me of that motherfucker of a diary of a mad woman, black woman, whatever it was, Tyler Perry, when the lawyer was in a wheelchair. Fat ass. If you have any love or respect for my homegirl, you know, I ain't gonna throw her on the bus, but we know we close. Your wife, if you have any respect for her, let her go. I'm in prison. You don't see me, I don't even get this. You don't see me trying to personal to come see me.
Charlene, what it is, baby?
I'm the one doing this time. Your fat ass the one crippled. Let your wife go and let her live her life. You don't think she get tired of saying, okay, brushing your teeth, here goes the water, spit it in the cup. Or you holler, my guy, we need to be changed. Why are you going to let that pretty nice woman have to change your fat ass diapers? And anybody want to act like I'm the one with the problems. Whatever y'all say about me is fine. I live a life of 1,000,000 motherfucking years in a situation that most people will never get that opportunity to live. So God bless you. When it's time for me to die, I'm going to heaven anyway. I ain't never scared of it. But let's go back to you. You was a deacon at the church, selling dope at the church.
Damn.
You was a crooked cop. You was a deacon at the church, selling dope at the church.
Not dope at the
You
church.
was a crooked
Sure.
cop. All your cronies.
Care what it is,
40 years
Biggie.
and more. All your cronies got 40 years and more.
Simon, for the record, you're saying, Simon, for the record, you're saying Reggie Regional Jr. was a deacon in the church?
A deacon at the church.
Oh, say all his co-defendants got 40 years. How the fuck Reggie home? Is that true, Reggie? Do all your co-defendants got 40 years? and you only went free? You been free about 15 years. How long Reggie been free, y'all? What do you call it, a year and a day? No, he ain't do a whole bunch of time.
Make matters even worse than that. You got a RICO, money laundering, whatever case you, your father, and that's other gang members had. Now, they should let Puffy go. Because, according to y'all paperwork, 100% put the paperwork up there. Because, according to that, the gang members was taking money from a whole different state, Memphis to be exact.
Did he call him back?
And that's other gang members had. Now, they should let Puffy go. Because, according to y'all paperwork, 100% put the paperwork up there. Because, according to that,
Definitely call him back.
the gang members was taking money from a whole different state, Memphis to be exact, and putting them $3 million in your father's bank account. Not yours, not your wife, not theirs, your father's. And your father got no time.
All them niggas agents. I knew them niggas was agents.
6, 7, 8 months.
I knew them niggas was agents.
At the same time, let's walk it all back. How was you living before I gave your fat ass a job doing security at death row? How was you living before I gave your fat ass a job doing security at death row? Name one thing that you accomplished without using my name. Name one thing that you bring Wack on every time you turn around. Every story's about me. Everybody want to say, oh, look at me in the car. Look at me in the car. Wack, we should never have nothing bad to talk about. You win with the mouthpiece. We supposed to do this in the same motherfucking room. Period.
Well, hey.
So when a client comes to us,
Well, you know Wack don't want to do that. We learned from Don't Do It Eugene that Wack ain't trying to solve nothing in the same room. Only way he solve things is through the internet. So that I ain't gonna lie, Suge, that is a pipe dream. Wack ain't solving nothing in the streets. All he offer is empty feeds to anybody that want him online that he's never gonna come through on. Anything outside of that, police is being called. I think we can witness that and agree to that by now.
fuck all the talking. But you want to post a picture, as Brooke tells me, and send it to me, of you in the car, and I'm driving and you on the one side, the one time you ever been in my car, probably. And you say, look, I'm not the driver. No, you couldn't be the driver. Your feet ain't long enough, your legs ain't long enough to match the gas pedal. If you look at that motherfucking picture.
Yo, Wack, 256 fades so far. I've been counting. Maybe I might be missing a few, maybe 258, 257, but it's up there. It's up there in the 250s, man. He ain't caught one yet.
You can see my whole body and me. Only thing they can see from you is your little head. That's how short you is. All the short niggas want to get it on me. I'm not going to pick on them little kids. But back to you. Let's start this all over again. So, y'all say I got AIDS. I know I don't. But tell you what. Every bitch you done put your dick into, pork butt, I had the bitch first. Every bitch you done put your dick into, pork butt, I had the bitch first. Every bitch you done put
it's
your
up there,
dick
yo.
into, pork butt,
258, 253.
I had
It's
the
up there
bitch
to
first.
250.
So, you sound stupid as fuck. But we know you don't got AIDS. Your ass too fat. But tell you what. If Young Harvey got a diaper company, he don't have no love for you. You should be getting free diapers. Instead of getting free diapers, you still paying for them. Let that woman go. She shouldn't have to be changing your fucking
Yeah, that
diapers.
shit will be funny as a bitch. They would have to do a lot of clubhouse videos.
Okay, one motherfucker tell me in my neighborhood, anywhere else, they beat up me. The homie will snatch your fat ass out your car.
Scandals need to do that.
Put gumbo on you. It took your car, and your daddy had to come lay it back down.
Hey, Scandals, you need to go through these videos and find every time Wack offers somebody a fade. That shit will be funny as a bitch. I'm telling you, it's about 250, y'all. I ain't even exaggerating. It's up there. I know I done heard at least 20 of them bitches.
Take for your shit back. Your father is plucking you up as you told.
Yes,
I'm not going to say who, but you know who y'all told. Why was your father and all his cop buddies in my box at the Staples Center? Why was y'all in my houses when I was in prison? When you couldn't be in my houses when I was on the streets? Your father and the cookie cops. Why was your father, your family, and the rest of the cookie cops on my yacht? Was your father, your family, and the rest of the cookie cops on my yacht? Is that not fucked up?
It probably would,
so you trying to tell me a man like myself have 2 yachts, and y'all want to talk about me, but your father and the rest of the crooked cops is on my yacht in the marina every weekend when I was in prison? So you trying to tell me a man like myself have 2 yachts, and y'all want to talk about me, but your father and the rest of the crooked cops is on my yacht in the marina every weekend when I was in prison?
Simon, I heard a recording that Reggie said that he's going to share audio with you discussing about women that is in your life and is going to make it difficult for the rest of your 9 years. He's trying to say he has something on you about your relationships with women.
Check this out. Whatever put butt can tell a bitch I know, and then you stop fucking with me, that's the wrong bitch for me. She shouldn't be fucking with me. If she can listen to a motherfucker who got lots of claws, who can't fucking walk, who shits on herself, and she can listen to him, don't listen to me. But I do know this. Any woman that really know me, and really love me,
Yeah, that's all you need for real, kid.
Not going nowhere. As a matter of fact, I don't have to say any woman. Only one. I had them all. I only choose to have one as I am today. Me at 60 years old was not the same when I was in my teens and my 20s and my 30s and my 40s.
Reggie Whack 100
Earlier,
hands.
we heard Marion Knight say he found out that David Kenner allegedly had something to do with the murder of Tupac. So now, with that in mind, listen closely to what Reggie says right here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pat myself on the back now because I'm cocky now. But David Kenner, to be honest, and that's who I give credit to Suge for teaching me the game and all of that. But Suge was good too, you know, as far as dealing with marketing and stuff like that. But David Kenner, man, David Kenner took care of that company and took care of him and gave us a lot of good advice. And even when I was told not to talk to him and communicate with him about business stuff, only thing, just let him concentrate on getting me out of prison and stuff like that, I would still make calls to David and like, how would you deal with this situation, David? Suge was telling me to do this, how would you deal with Jimmy and Brian Turner with this? Suge was telling me to do this, how would you deal with Jimmy and Brian Turner with this? And we'll always be right on the advice he gave me. And he stopped listening to David, and then eventually me, who was still piggybacking off of David.
Think about this. You have a friend that you decided to employ. Not only did you employ him, but you funded his entire security company, giving him $300,000 to get it started. Now you're behind bars, trying to run your business from prison. You give him clear instructions. Don't bother the lawyer. Let him focus on getting me out. But instead of listening, the guy you're paying goes straight to the lawyer anyway, asking what to do, completely going against what you just told him. Kevin Hackey said it plain. When it's all said and done, Reggie will be the fall guy. But Reggie's not going down quietly. He's already pointed the finger at David Kenner and Jimmy Iovine, saying they were really in charge.
I remember Jimmy Iovine was so mad at me. Jimmy Iovine, when I started running.
Why would this guy get new permanent
Reggie,
teeth in
dirty
24
bitch.
hours?
Him and Wack, and they was trying to take Suge Knight down for a long ass time.
Things that I know he probably wouldn't even have done for sure, but he did it to make it happen, to make me look good and to stay in contact with him. We did an article on him. First we did something where we put his house on this tape that we were doing called Death Row Uncut. Yeah. And then we put the address and the direction to his house there, you know, tapping at him. The second thing we did was we did an article about him in U.S. Newsweek, where we was pretty much talking about the Dolores Tucker situation and Bob Doyle and all of that. And U.S. Newsweek was a big magazine at the time. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and so we were going to say something bad, talk bad about him, and, you know, laying out a bunch of stuff because I had the writer come up to the prison and wrote all this stuff. Of course, the writer went back and told Jimmy all the stuff we said, and you know, Jimmy had a lot of connections then, and he got the article stopped. But he called me in the office and he said, Reggie, you know, you doing all of this to me, and you sitting right there with him because you know about it, and you ain't calling, letting me know, you know, that you ain't giving me hands up to this stuff. I gotta find out on my own. I said, Jimmy, wait a minute, I work for Suge Knight. I'm Suge's friend. I'm loyal to Suge. Right.
No, the fuck you ain't.
And he goes, Reggie, you gonna learn one day who got the real power around here and who doesn't. I always think about that every time I think about Jimmy Iovine.
So as the walls close in, Reggie's making one thing clear. If he's going down, he's taking the real masterminds with him.
Why is it that no one still can explain why people tell somebody they can't carry a gun? People tell somebody they can't carry a gun. People tell somebody they can't carry a gun. Why would I be paying $350 for the day if they can't carry guns?
Now you,
I guess, instruct everybody not to carry guns
inside of the club.
inside of the club.
Club 662.
But even though it's your club, I mean, Suge's club.
Yeah, you can carry, and I know where you get that. You can carry guns on your private. We just had. I don't believe everybody should have guns inside clubs. I just think it's bad for security reasons, because you have 20 guys in there with guns, and you got maybe 2,000 to 3,000 people inside of the nightclub, a small area.
We've all heard Reggie's excuse by now, and you just heard it again. He claims he told his security team not to carry guns because Marion was in the process of buying Pub 662, and they were trying to secure a liquor license. According to Reggie, weapons inside the club could jeopardize that. Sounds convenient. Problem Reggie doesn't want to face. If Simon was the owner, and the one paying Reggie for security, why didn't Simon know the guards weren't carrying weapons? Why didn't Reggie tell him? Why did Reggie instruct his security guards not to let Marion know they were told not to carry any weapons?
Suge called a meeting. All the artists were instructed to come to this meeting, and certain security was invited, and I happened to be one of them. But prior to going into the meeting with Suge and all the artists from Death Row, Reggie met with us out front in his own meeting. But I'm going to add something to that. We were also instructed to lie by Reggie Wright to Suge. And the reason we were instructed to lie was because Reggie Wright told us not to carry any weapons. So I have, by me just looking at what Reggie told me, I'm thinking that Mr. Knight was unaware. The meeting was basically about what happened, and the artists were drilling security about what methods we had used and what were some of our tactics.
And we know from looking at the statement that Suge Knight gave to the Las Vegas Police Department that he fully expected that Frank Alexander and every other bodyguard there was to carry their weapons. So whatever the case might have been, Suge Knight didn't get the message.
I looked around and no one said it. No one was speaking up for security. And it looked like Reggie wasn't going to say that information to them.
If Simon is the boss, and he's footing the bill, he should have been informed, period. But he wasn't. And that's what's going to trap Reggie at the end of the day.
Why would nobody never answer the questions? They go, when they talk about me and try to drag some up, that's called a distraction. They go in these platforms, the podcasts, but they never ask no questions about them. Why are they accusing you? Why did they have a grand jury on you about the involvement of when I got shot and when Tupac lost his life?
Every business needs a website, unless this is what your business looks like. But if it's not,
scandalous in Los Angeles. So this is Reggie Wright response.
Okay. Reggie Wright was stealing. He had made a publishing company under my name, and he was just stealing all kind of shit, man. And, we found that out, and now Snoop going through every corners of the Death Row catalog and just seeing like Alan Grunblatt from E1 stealing.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And Reggie Wright stealing.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. It looks like war's been declared, y'all. Reggie's back, and he's firing shots at Marion Knight like never before.
So these niggas diabolical, yo. The crazy thing about it, yo, if Suge Knight was home, yo, they would not be talking to yo like this. They would not be talking to yo like this, man. They wait till Suge Knight get arrested. Now they all got something to say. When Suge Knight was home, they was quiet as a bitch. Same shit like with Big U.
The gloves are off this time. According to Reggie, when it comes to Death Row, Simon was just a puppet who forgot his place. He claims he, along with David Kenner and Jimmy Iovine, were the real engine behind the label's success. Reggie might have said a little too much in this video. Reggie has called Simon a rat on numerous occasions. Because of that, he knew that using the rat insult wouldn't sting the same today. So now he's grasping at anything he can to discredit him. He even went so far as to bring up Simon's honeymoon, claiming he wet the bed that night.
All right, Reggie.
Don't do it,
I know
Suge.
you've kind of held back when it comes to divulging a lot of the information you know on Suge, but given his recent comments, is there anything you want to say or expose while we're here?
I'll just go into it and then we'll touch on each topic individually in our next set of tapings. But just wanted to put this out because I know a lot of y'all heard the episode and y'all want me to respond. I'm trying to wait. I put out a call to see where it is coming from and to try to get some feedback because I don't want to be like a bitch and be spontaneous. I'm about to give you some heads up and just remind you of a few things, Mr. Knight. You think Gene Deal and them are having a ball talking about Puffy's life with adult women? Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Niggas about to learn about peaches.
Hey yo, oh my God, they trying to put another kid. Yo, these niggas, oh my fucking goodness. Yo, what is this? Yo, what is this, yo? Is this the world we living in now? Yo, did he just insinuate that he's ready to go on a Gene Deal campaign against Suge Knight? Is Reggie Wright ready to go on a Wack 100 slander campaign on Big U? Like, yo, I swear, y'all. I'm about sick of the internet. Yo, these guys got to be stopped. Yo came straight on like, man, if you think Gene Deal and Puffy bad, wait to get a load of me. I'm ready to start putting cases on all type of bad. These niggas bad shit. Yeah, this is crazy. Shit, we 2 minutes in, and he already talking about telling. Yeah, yo, he already talking about telling. Look, he dead. So look at his eyes. He probably was telling last night in his sleep. Couldn't wait to get up and get online and say this shit.
People about to learn about Stormy and ages of these girls. You was Art Kelly before there was an Art Kelly, motherfucker.
Damn.
You's a pedophile. You worse. Because you use your money to wine and dine the young girls that were still in high school. But you got nerves to speak on me like that? And you know I know all of this stuff about you. You and your herpes you've been infecting everybody with.
Yo, what the fuck is that? Yo, this is bad. We living in wild times, man. Yeah, this is bad, man. So basically, for what I'm getting already, is that Reggie Wright and Wack 100 been slandering Suge Knight for how many years now? Now they ain't do it to the capacity of Gene Deal and Big U. But they have been slandering them for years, discrediting them. Suge Knight decides to speak out and fight back. And now they try to hit below the belt. Suge Knight ain't never gonna come home fuck around with these boys. Trying to tell you. They gonna re-indict them. Fuck around with these niggas.
How you have accused your mother with messing with your daddy's brother?
What?
Richard? You trying to say I was a drug dealer? Oh, I caught that joke or that little subliminal when you threw. You forget the name you used when you got arrested in the parking lot of Larry Parker's for cocaine in your fucking glove box? Bro, you gonna let people build your head up just why you lost death row because you forgot to play your role.
I don't believe nothing. I don't believe nothing these niggas say.
For that company.
Now I don't believe rats. Niggas say anything.
You ran Dre off. You ran Dre off. You ran Dre off.
So nevertheless, you had guys getting $150 a day. He gave guys extra money. One guy got a check for $20,000. And he went to the bank to cash it. So they had to call him and talk to him personally. Did you really get his due in here with a dirty T-shirt on and bummy jeans and to cash a $20,000 check? He had to verify and say, yeah. The problem with that, when they asked the guy, why did you get a $20,000 check? He said, because he gave me $20,000 to kill Suge Knight. And he told that to more than one guy.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them.
So, when they called me and I put up that tail, they was paid to kill me. I'm not the one said that. The people who got the money said that. Because they brought the checks to me, and to the PI, and to the lawyers when I was in the county jail. I'm locked up. Remember, I can't even use the phone.
Isn't that a dangerous motherfucker?
I can't even write nobody. Can't nobody write me. But at the same time, these guys sent a copy of the check and say, hey, show him this. I'm like, okay, why are you showing me? He said, because he want to know that Andre paid us to kill you.
You ran Jimmy off. You ran Jimmy off. You ran Jimmy off.
And rest in peace, Easy D. One thing about Eric, Eric told me one day, I thought Andre did all the music, all the beats. All right, whoop. You know what Eric told me? People send our demos in. Andre redo them. We redo the raps. Yeah. That's the song. All right. I took that same get out. So basically, I took it from Easy and did the same shit. I took it from Easy and took it to another level. All right. And guess what? Jimmy Iovine sent me to prison and stole it from me. Jimmy Iovine sent me to prison and stole it from me. Jimmy Iovine sent me to prison and stole it from me.
Dang. You ran David Carroll. You ran David Carroll. You ran David Carroll.
And sometimes you find out stuff, and I ain't trying to take the things away from all what we're talking about, but sometimes you find out things later on that is so bad to you, it just makes your blood boil. I found out recently that allegedly one of my attorneys, David Kenner, was involved in the assassination of Tupac and me getting shot. And I never should have went to prison the first time I went to prison, but I had caught the accounting firm who Jimmy introduced us to. They stole like about $30-40 million, you know. My thing with my accounts was I signed all my checks. So any check was over $5,000, I definitely had to sign it. And they was giving David $100,000 a month, and David said he was giving Jimmy a kickback from $100,000 a month. So we was paying him for all the work he did as an attorney, and he was giving him $100,000 a month. Wow. And buying cars and houses and stuff.
You ran Reggie off. You ran Reggie off. You ran Sharita off. You ran Sharita off.
Perez and them was all involved. They were trying to kill me too, but see, because Perez and Reg was good friends, and Perez and Sharita and Reg is great friends, and Sharita and Reg is great friends, and so all those three together was trying to plot.
Sharita? Oh yeah, Sharita. You forget about the story. You forget what happened to y'all on your wedding night, Suge Knight. You forget? When she woke up, I always told her that I was going to start off my movie. Tell him yes. This is going to start off my movie. with y'all on your wedding night and you pissing in the bed on her. Sharita, tell me I'm lying.
Reggie said the opening scene of his movie is going to be Simon's wedding night. Why is the first scene of your story focused on another man's wedding night? That says a lot without saying much. That kind of personal jab just shows one thing. That Reggie might be running out of gas.
Yeah, tonight time.
Because let's be clear.
That's what happened,
Simon
y'all.
wetting the bed isn't a bigger deal.
What I tell y'all, yo, when motherfucker ain't got nothing to say, they resort to slander. When they know they did wrong and you catch them down bad, they resort to slander. He ain't addressed none of the things that Suge Knight said.
Then Reggie telling his security team not to carry weapons the night Tupac was murdered. Simon's wet bed sheets aren't more scandalous than Buntry being murdered in a vehicle registered to Reggie. Just one day after he went to seek legal counsel from the Baker law firm because of Reggie. Reggie is going to have to do a whole lot better than that.
When he pissed in the bed on your wedding night. Okay. All right, sure. Let's talk about Big Black, sure. Now, you took the gloves off. I told you the gloves going to come off. And this is just an iceberg. This is just an iceberg of what's going on. You forgot about Big Black? You know I know about Big Black. You know your women talk to me. How you like that up your ass, Big Black. So, nigga, I told you not to fuck with me. Not to mention my name. This is episode 1 of this shit. You took respect and love as fear. When have I ever feared you? I protected you. You fuck with right now.
Come on, yo. You wasn't saying none of this when he was home, man. That's what shows the fear. Y'all know how it is, yo. When a motherfucker get locked up, yo, people start coming out the woodworks. Motherfuckers start snitching. They start slandering. But they don't do none of this shit in your face. That's why it's always better to be respected than feared, man. You definitely feared them. Because if it was respect, you wouldn't be doing this. If it was respect, you wouldn't have said none of these things. It was always fear. This is what people do when they scared of you. And now the police got you, now you out the way. This is what they do. This is a prime example of what I be talking about. It's better to be respected than feared.
That you call your friend, you was talking about Freaky PD, call that your little brother. How would anybody want to be a friend of yours? Tell us who you talk to on the phone at least once or twice a week. You know, the dude that killed Buntry.
Power.
Prime example.
Precision.
Right.
Sophistication.
Man, he in a wheelchair. He can't even move. Talking tough. My father pushes chill.
Buntry gets killed. Yeah. You said it happened in a car that you...
I'm the registered owner of...
You were the owner of that car?
Yes.
What was the situation over there? Because he said that... he said on camera who he thinks killed him. So the situation with Buntry, you said that George killed him?
Yeah.
And George was a Pyru also?
Yeah.
Okay. He got stabbed?
Who?
Your brother.
No, he was shot 9 times. He was shot 9 times.
I'll see on camera. Shit. Dude's in jail. Name is G.
Is it Monkey Man?
Monkey Man. Well, y'all call him Monkey Man. We call him G.
Why, Regional Walker, why does Mob James ride with Reggie Wright Jr. knowing him and his father murked his bro?
Your supposedly best friend? You promising him a piece of the movie, a deal you doing right now? Him and Dog? Oh yeah, I know everything. I hear everything, dog. But you wanna fuck with me? No, nigga. It's day 1, episode 1. I'll let this episode digest so you can call me. And then when you don't, and we don't talk about it, I'll send you $500 for each kid you have so you can start doing some motherfucking DNA. So we can find out who's the real kids around here. Who are real knights. Play with me, nigga. Come on, first piece.
Rick Ross, you know you owe that bread, titty man. I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of you. I got a show said it ain't smart being stupid. Yeah. I'm gonna invite motherfucking Rick Ross on there. That ain't his real name, whatever. If he can get me, I'ma shave my motherfucking beard. Oh! When I beat his motherfucking ass, kick him square in his motherfucking ass and play with his titties, he need to shave his beard and go back to the police that he is.
Man, Reggie Wright, he diabolical, boy. These niggas vicious. Now you got this motherfucker Wack 100. Yo, I don't understand this shit with Wack 100, y'all. Like, why is niggas allowing y'all? Like, I don't get this. Like, in California, they praise Nipsey. Nipsey this, Nipsey that. But Wack 100 been online for 4 years now, slandering Nipsey, insinuating Lord London was fucking Diddy. Got the whole internet saying Lord London was fucking Diddy. There's no evidence that Diddy ever fucked Lord London. Possibly he could have, but even if he did, what the fuck does that have to do with Wack? Like, why is Wack 100 so hell-bent on killing Nipsey legacy? Sound a little police to me, man. Y'all know Nipsey was under investigation before he got killed. I showed y'all that before, if y'all remember. It's like he don't want Nipsey to be remembered.
With other people.
Okay. Wack. Freak shit aside, we get that.
He don't want Nipsey to be remembered for nothing positive.
Marathon store was located and they discussed whether or not
Man, shoot the Getty, man.
relations with a minor. So, Wack 100 and DJ Academics is...
Yo, now he's saying he fucking with a minor, yo. Jesus Christ. This nigga gotta be stopped. He gotta be stopped. Yo, the man is dead, man. He can't defend himself. Yo, where's Black Saint? Like, yo, there's no way he could be my brother, yo. I'd have crashed out by now. Wack dead. I'm in prison. We all lose. Fuck it. Cause this is crazy. It's crazy they allowing yo to do this to this boy, man. Yeah, it don't make sense, bro.
Is having a conversation about that very situation, Nipsey Hussle's legendary status in the West Coast, whether or not he owned the shopping center where the Marathon store was located, and they discussed whether or not the 60s or Black Sam knew about Nipsey Hussle's sex tape or his sexual orientation. It is interesting. I'm going to let y'all get to it. Shout out to Wack 100. Shout out to DJ Academics. This is Getty Radio. Let's go.
This shit crazy.
Dude, Rockstar?
He didn't do nothing to Rockstar. What did he do to it?
He gave a demonstration. That's what he called it. It's a demonstration.
He embarrassed him a little bit. That ain't no demonstration. He embarrassed him. He embarrassed him with it. I mean, but that's Rockstar. Everybody ain't going for that shit. Man, look, Black Sam, I ain't taking nothing from him, but Black Sam, he not gonna approach everybody like that.
Wack. Yo, Wack. Don't start talking gangster again. We stop it. Don't get back gangster, yo. We ain't gotta go to the paperwork when you was screaming Eugene name. Come on, don't do that. You folded too, my nigga. The worst way. Said the man first name, last name, middle name, nickname, maiden name.
I think you're fucking up.
What Black Sam got to do with me though, bro? Like, listen.
Like, you're fucking up my chance to, you know, Karen, salute to Karen, you know, I love her. She invited me to go to the burger spot. She said,
Let me know when you come in here. We're gonna take care of you. It's gonna blah blah. Now when I show up there, Black Sam gonna be like, there he is. He was on the phone with Wack. Demonstration. I'm like, oh no, I gotta run. I'm like, stop, drop, and roll. Yo, Wack. I want to go get a burger at the Marathon Burger.
I haven't heard Black Sam say my name. He hasn't said my name.
He ain't going
and
to.
I hope he never says my name, because at that point in time, I'm gonna be forced to defend myself. And then at that point,
he's sending Black Sam a jet. I'm done. I'm done. I don't even want to watch no more. I don't want to watch no more. Anybody that says his name, he's sending them to prison. Yo, Wack is a fucking one-man police force, yo. Yo, y'all gotta understand, when Wack say, I'm gonna be forced to defend myself, he's talking about the feds. That's what he's talking about. He said the same shit to Hocus for a Fifth. Y'all remember what he said? If I gotta defend myself, the feds might see video that they ain't had before. Now, if he gotta defend himself against Black Sam, expect the big U surprise. Y'all know what that is. Expect the big U platter, where Wack 100 is gonna go with a slander campaign, implicating Big Sam in cases, probably accusing him of all type of fraud. Like, yo, this nigga is crazy. I don't even think I feel comfortable watching this shit. Because it's going to get bad. It's going to piss me off. And he try to sit back, act like he ain't a fucking police officer. Like he ain't top cop on the force. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody stupid. Nigga, you working. Police ass, nigga.
point in time, I'm really gonna open up the floodgates.
Okay, suppose his demeanor is, why are you talking about my dead brother? Stop talking about my dead brother.
Wait, hold on, bro. That Pop dead, everybody dead. Everybody talks about everybody that got something to do with the industry that's dead. Elvis Presley, motherfucker, what the fuck are we talking about, nigga?
Yo, chat, Wack is messed up. Yo, I already placed my order with Karen Civil. I told him, I said, let's do a double. You know what I mean? It's a cheat day. I need a double.
Bro,
double
what I'm saying is this.
With the bacon.
So what I'm saying.
I ain't turned full Muslim yet. You know I'm about to turn Muslim, right? But I got bacon on my shit.
This is what I'm saying, bro. I didn't put this up, right?
Yeah, but you're not supposed to bring life to it, though. Like, you know.
What? I'm not supposed to what?
You ever heard the term, let him rest in peace?
Okay, well, what do you mean? I don't understand. Okay, well, nigga, well, stop talking about Biggie and Pac. The fuck are we talking about? King Von. The fuck are we talking about?
Y'all, this is a play.
All three. What is niggas?
They're trying to use DJ Academics to clear Wack 100 name. Now it may appear that DJ Academics is the opposition to Wack, but they're really working together to try to clear Wack name from all the snitch allegations. That's what's really going on. Because if you notice, it wasn't until after Big U got indicted that Wack 100 was doing 3 or 4 lives with DJ Academics. Now, he always appeared over there, but if you notice, every 2 days, him and Academics talking about some shit. And Academics always try to create this narrative that he against what Wack doing. But in reality, they both doing it. They both working.
Talking about all these emotional gangsters. The conversation is the conversation, homie. It's what it is.
And Wack, again, I'm not asking because.
Hey, bro, look at this blog. This blog.
I know it's a blog. Wack, but I'm asking as a homie to you.
This blog says West Coast Gang Rules.
You're right, but I'm asking as a homie to you.
My shit is the Hunter Show.
Hold on, Wack. I'm asking as a homie to you. And me asking this question got nothing to do with you. It's more to do with me and my thoughts. Because I've never seen you ever express fear or anything. But I am worried.
Man, the paperwork you did.
I'm worried for what?
I think one of these hating ass niggas might try to hurt you. They might be like,
hey, bro, I've been what I've been for 36 years, bro. They been trying to do that. What's the difference?
You've been a rap for 36 years.
I'm worried.
God damn.
I'm telling you, I'm worried for you, Wack. And I know, listen, you've never showed me anything that I should be worried. But when I see this, I'm like,
why? Well, why y'all listen? See, you know, the more and more y'all go to telling me I'm lying. That was the man in the video that was on the phone. You know that, right?
Nah, I know.
That's the man in the video. Listen, Act, if I get to give you descriptions of that footage, all them other niggas nasty. Nigga, don't get mad at me. Get mad at what the... If you mad at something, be mad at his decision. That ain't my decision.
Yeah, but you know the saying that says, what's in the dark must come to light? It's one of those things that what's in the dark...
That was never in the dark, bro. They just faking like that. You notice I ain't nobody acting surprised? Fuck out of here, bro. What we talking about, homie? If you got a gay brother, right? Or a gay sister, right? You the only one feeling some kind of way. They don't give a fuck. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, so I'm saying if this was his ways of his sexuality, right?
Yeah.
That's him.
Wack. Okay.
Maybe his family and friends didn't agree. That's cool.
Wack.
But he was comfortable enough with other people.
Okay. Wack. Freak shit aside, we get that. That's some stuff that, you know, whatever, people gonna be shot by. We need, like, you're the paperwork king at this point. It's you and 1090 Jake. I agree with you. You told Adam not too long ago, like, respect to 1090 Jake. But Wack gonna get all the paperwork. Okay, he gonna keep getting paperwork. We need some more paperwork on what these allegations were and what was kind of determined in court. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it's a little bit uncomfortability even having it up here, just because, again, maybe it was a fake charge.
You gotta talk to, bro. You West Coast Gang Wars 3. Talk to him. He put it up. Now I will tell you this: with them blowing this shit up, you look at the top. The top's gonna give you certain information. Case title: the people of the state of California versus the names.
No way. I could definitely do my due diligence and figure out. I really just want to stay out of West Coast business for this one because I feel like they're gonna hurt somebody.
You keep Kendrick name out your motherfucking mouth, then.
No, that's hip hop business. That's hip hop business. That's hip hop business.
It's hip hop business too.
Hell no. I don't know what the hell. The state of California says it's California business.
Yeah, I bet you if any of this was on K-Dot, you'd be talking about it, wouldn't you?
What you mean?
That's what I said.
What you mean right now?
Would you not be talking about it?
K-Dot is live and well. Let me ask you one question though, Wack.
What?
You have zero issue with the estate of Nipsey Hussle or Nipsey Hussle himself?
I ain't got no issue. Why everybody think I got an issue?
Do you love Nipsey? Like everybody on the West seems to?
I don't know what you mean by that. Do I respect him? I respect him. I ain't gonna tell you I love him. I don't know him. We ain't spent that type of time together. We had a cordial relationship. We talked on the phone and shit like that, but
do you respect him as a legend, not necessarily musically, but culturally, that came from the West Coast, that held it down and was a great representative?
No, I never gave him that because I'm not from his section, so I don't know what he was doing over there.
You saw some of the things he was doing. He was buying this. He was buying up the block. He was doing this. Like,
he was buying
great
what?
businessman. He was
buying what?
He was bringing commerce back to the hood.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's your lie. He never brought nothing. I know the owners of the shit.
Wack,
that's your lie.
He owns the fucking marathons. He owned the plaza. He died.
You want to bet? Let's bet 10,000.
Wack, come on, stop it.
Let's bet 10,000. Listen.
Hold on, I might take that bet. Hold on.
Okay, we got a bet.
Wait, hold on.
He said he owned it back then.
I'm doing my research.
No. Let's bet. They gonna tell you don't put Wack on this. Let's bet.
Yo, I heard he started back to buy back the hood. He started the buy back the hood philosophy that got black entertainers investing in where they came from. He got people investing in Crenshaw and Slauson. Stop it, Wack.
Okay.
You gotta give him some credit.
Do you want to bet that he didn't own none of that?
So you're saying it was a facade?
See, bro, just because you...
I believe it.
Okay, well, let's bet.
Seymour said, don't bet. Okay.
Let's bet.
High as Allah says, bet. Should I bet?
Let's bet.
So if I bet with you, If I bet 10,000 with you,
I'm gonna go get you all the title work. I already got it because they offered to sell it to people 1.5 million. I just didn't want to fuck with it. You wanted me to grab it and then let him take control of it. Let's bet. I know the people that own it. Let's bet. Let's bet. Let's bet.
Wait. All right, okay.
Do we have a bet?
I'll tell you what the bet would be. I would bet I could show that Nipsey transformed his section.
That ain't what you said. You said he brought back, he owned that pavilion, all that. And I'm telling you that's cap. So what I'm telling you is, bro, don't expect me to lie to myself. You asked me to honor and respect something that really wasn't the truth. That's what you asked me to do.
Nipsey is a goddamn West Coast legend as a black man. Music.
I'm not from that sect, bro.
He's a legend, Wack. Stop it.
Okay. Well, let me kind of say something, right?
He taught a lot of these West Coast gangbanging niggas entrepreneurism. He taught them how to be men. He taught them about family. He taught them a lot of shit. Fact. Come on now, Wack.
Give me one. He taught that.
He led by example.
Give me one.
The marathon continues. He led by example. His life.
I'm gonna be real. He don't like to say it, but you know, Black Sam has always been the one pushing to do this and do this and do that. He just didn't do the music, but the shirts and all the shit. That was Black Sam went to jail, nigga, for selling shirts. So let's give the credit where credit's due, respectfully.
So, Wack, are you trying to tell me that the West Coast wasn't changing? Look how many people showed to his funeral.
I'm trying to tell you.
Wack, I've never seen a funeral like that in LA West Coast history.
That's cool. Know who you're talking to. You're talking to a man that has watched the growth of the Suge Knights and the Top Dogs and myself and others. So you're asking me to totally erase what I know the things to be true and the Mike Conceptions and all our greats we have out here. You asking me to erase these things.
Wack.
Place something there that I know is not these things, bro.
Wack. Everybody knows Nipsey is one of the top 5 greatest people to come out of the West Coast of California in the last 30 years. You know that. I know that. I hear how y'all talk about it.
Well, let's
they
slow
basically
it down.
got murals.
Let's
they
slow it
might as
down.
well put a statue in front of the Staples Center or the Victor Hall.
Hold on. Let me go back to mine. Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre,
Nipsey,
Mike Conception, Top Dog. I'm not gonna even throw me or my artists in there yet. And a host of others. I'm gonna leave it at those are my top 5. And I can give you every reason they are, A to Z. Now, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, but if you talking about what's gonna be the wall of the West, I'm coming with all I got. The best of the best. I didn't even throw Suge Knight in there because
Suge Knight not greater than Nipsey, man.
Nipsey did not contribute, nigga, or achieve.
Hold on.
This shit. I don't even.
Wack, tell me if I'm lying. I never really knew what Crenshaw was before Nipsey. Nipsey did that. He put it on.
Bro, you didn't know what it was.
Okay, yo, this shit is terrible. Somebody need to do a Wack 100. What they was doing the 1090 Jake in the Florida penitentiary. He had in his mouth. Wack 100, somebody needs to slap box Wack 100, man. Get 1090 Jake on the line. We need to get 1090 Jake on the line and get 1090 Jake to explain the process where he was getting blood put in his mouth by different cell buddies. Because we need that shit to happen to Wack. Because he's out of control. He out of control, y'all. I can't do no more, y'all. He a wild ass nigga. And I can't believe them niggas in Cali just allow him to get away. Now, I heard Wack 100 is damn near banned. You feel me? Like, he real strategic in how he moves. Probably got police everywhere. Yeah. They'll probably move around with a whole barricade, a whole brigade of police and shit. They be like, that's the president? Oh, no, that's Wack 100. He ready to go do no jumping interview. Police everywhere. Sitting there talking all this gangster shit. Yo, but I'm tired, though. Y'all gotta get up in the morning. Y'all appreciate everybody that tap, that hit that like button. If you can support the platform. Yeah, like I said, if you can't cash that Baltimore swag, it's at the bottom. See my man Michael. See, they about to tap then. We're going to try to get live in tomorrow. I got to work tomorrow, but we're going to get it live in sometime. It's another day. Keep it G News. And I'm out.